And I think what we want to do next is we just want to go ahead and get into our All-American teams. Our last podcast, we ended with the AP All-American teams, and we gave out a little teaser saying, like, we'll have ours next, and I think we have ours at the ready.
Yeah, we do, Gus. And enough of this AP, okay? When we do our All-American teams, folks, we put time into it. We think about it. We diagnose it. We've put a lot of effort into this. Not these AP things. They have bigger fish to fry. We don't. This is what we do.
So we're going to go ahead and start right at third team, ground floor, work our way up second, go up to first, then maybe throw some kudos to some honorable mentions. Mike, do you want to start with your third team? Because there seems to be some interesting names on your third team All-American.
Yeah, listen, if you haven't figured this out, Gus and I bring it to you hardcore, okay? We're not going to give you traditional. We're going to give you what's in our heart. It's like poker. You got the head, you got the numbers, you got the big recruits, you got the high freshmen, right, that are perfect. But in your heart, deep down, who do you want? And that's what I'm about. I'm a heart guy, Gus. So here's my third team, okay?
I'm so looking forward to this.
All right, we brought this up last time, if you're a loyal listener. I asked Gus what 10 minus 7 was. He said 3. And that's where Monte Morris is going to be. He's going to be your third team All-American. And this is what I think. I like him. He could be an excellent NBA player, explosive player. A lot of pressure on him, Iowa State now to carry that team. A little bit of the second year now that we're moving on. The team was real good last year, but we're coming back again. I just think they're going to struggle a little bit.
Size is going to be the issue with Iowa State team-wise, but I'm with you with supporting Monte Morris. I think that he's still going to put up big numbers, but they'll play that four-guard alignment with Burton and Naz Long and Matt Thomas. But who's going to bang down low for them? I think that's going to be the problem. But he's still going to put up giant numbers. Steve
Prom, second year, right? Okay, so I like Monte. A lot of people have him higher. I don't. I have him on my third team. So I'll go through my third team, and then you do yours.
Yeah, please do. I want to hear who's next.
We love Oregon. I told you about this. Oregon's making the Final Four. All right, quack away.
I believe that was one of your big prognostications last podcast.
It is, and I can't say enough about Tyler Dorsey. Love the versatility, high-profile offense. Dana Altman does a great job. Dana Altman deserves a Final Four. He will get a Final Four this year. And I bet you Dorsey carries a little bit early on with Brooks being out, recovering from the surgery.
Agreed. He's going to have a little bit more responsibility, much like Monte Morris early on with Dylan out. Unbelievably dynamic athlete at the position.
It's a good word, yeah.
And along with that dynamic athleticism, he also brings nuts and bolts skills.
Definitely, yeah. And now next one I'll go to. I referred to him as the best third scorer on any team in the NCAA.
Okay, Badgers.
Ethan Happ out in Wisconsin. Badgers, everyone back. We talked last time about their political speaking up about what they feel is right, which we totally respect. Greg Gard's Coach of the Year. He's back. He's got everyone back in that conference. Mr. Happ's going to be third team All-American.
Well, you did say he was going to be the third best option on a Division I program.
Did I say that?
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah. So why not put him on the third team All-American?
Exactly. Next, I got two left. So next one, Xavier's going to be very, very good. They're going to be an issue in the Big East. They're
plenty of people have him in the Final Four.
Darn right.
Plenty.
Mac's done a great job. They got a lot of people back. Trevon Blewett is going to be third team All-American.
He put up giant numbers last year. Why not just do it again this year? Maybe on a bigger stage, perhaps bigger profile.
I like Sumner also. It's a close call, but I will go with Blewett just for the scoring. He's going to make your third team. And then I just didn't feel right. You got in my head. I will admit this. I have to put a Kentucky guy on there.
You do.
Cal, it's not that I don't like your team. Your team is awesome. You're a master recruiter. In fact, I'll say you're the best recruiter in college basketball. I'll go that far. I just don't see those guys. I mean, like, Brandon Knight wasn't really like a big-time player. It's not like everyone who goes to Kentucky, Scalabassier was high. They don't all average 20, but I will put De'Aaron Fox on as my last third-team All-American because he can fill it up in a hurry.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that third team at all, and I'll get to my opinion on De'Aaron Fox in Kentucky in a smidge, but I'm going to jump into my third team right away.
Yeah, fire away. Blow me up.
So the first person on my third team seems like he might belong somewhere else, but I'm going to put Grayson Allen on third team.
Oh, sorry, I just tripped. I'm sorry.
So... I think they're going to come out of the gate a little bit out of sorts. The injury bug has totally struck Duke in a big way. The injury bug that has affected them is going to force reliable guys to come into those places, but I still think Grayson Allen and Duke as a whole are going to come out a little bit out of sorts, a little slow, in a little bit of a fog. Of course, they'll get it together. Tons of people have picked them to win the whole thing and go to the Final Four. I just think that coming out of the gate a little slow is going to knock him down a notch or two down to the 13.
You nailed that Duke analysis right there. Well done.
My next guy is an ACC, fellow ACC backcourt member with Grayson Allen. I love Joel Berry II.
Yeah, the second.
So the little story I have about Joel Berry II is they had this shooting drill that went around through all the basketball back roads, right? And Buddy Hield did it, Steph Curry did it, Klay Thompson did it, and it went along with it was basically stamina and three-pointers.
Okay.
And at some point last year during the season, all of these players that were doing this similar drill were keeping score and sending scores out to each other because everybody knew who was doing this particular drill. Do you know who had the highest score out of college and NBA players at one time last year?
Did he?
Joel Berry.
Yeah. Boy, he was hot in the tournament last year, too. Really hot.
I don't see why that's not going to carry on, and I think they're going to put up a ton of numbers to begin with, and I think he's just going to be leading the charge, and he's going to be on your third-team All-American.
Yeah, he lost a little bit of – he was so great the whole year, and then his end of the year in the ACC tournament wasn't great either, but he picked it up as they started advancing in the NCAA tournament. And so it's a great call. Love Joel Berry.
My next area is going to be one of the super frosh that are coming in. We all know that this freshman class coming in is one of the most hyped, one of the most ballyhooed, and rightly so. Tons of talent.
Good use of ballyhoo.
Thank you. We're trying here at Screen the Screener. So we talked about him a little bit during our Michigan State Sparty preview, Miles Bridges. He's going to be one of the players that Izzo really trusts. Not because of what he does on offense, but because of what he brings defensively as well. And we all know his history with the Flintstones. This guy is a Flint guy. He is going to invest in him on the floor, and he's going to get lots of playing time. And with that playing time, I think going to be big numbers. And we're going to see some serious highlights from this guy.
It's such a great call. I can't wait. And that's one of the games we're going to talk about a little bit later.
Yeah.
Because Izzo has not had that high-impact freshman score.
He's got a couple.
Is it going to be, hey, Rook, you got to earn your keep? Or is it going to be, when I dip in to a freshman, I get myself a gem? It's such a fascinating thing. It's one of the things I cannot wait to watch tomorrow.
I'm so looking forward to how that's going to play out as well. And I'm curious because we kind of haven't seen the script play out for Sparty yet, in the past, 5-7 years, really? Next place, I'm sticking with Frosh here. I'm going to go back to the ACC. I'm throwing Dennis Smith Jr. on there from NC State.
Well, Tobacco Road representation.
So I have the triangle represented in my third-team All-American. Dennis Smith is going to be a gigantic impact for NC State. Now, here's the parallel I'm going to bring to you. Last year, Cat Barber averaged over 22 points a game and was in the running all year for ACC Player of the Year and put up giant numbers. All across the board, assists, boards. He was a monster on defense.
Super quick.
Dennis Smith might be better. He might have more of an impact on winning and making that whole entire team better.
The team could be better,
than Cat Barber did last year. And Cat Barber played out of his mind last year in the ACC.
Yeah, underappreciated.
So I think, Dennis, I'm on with our guy from CBS Sports, Matt Norlander, is a giant Dennis Smith fan. I am right with him, and I am pushing that train. He's going to be on third-team All-American in my book. Mm-hmm. And my last guy, I'm going to go opposite backcourt mate of your third-team All-American. I'm going to take Sumner on my third team from Xavier.
Okay. Yeah.
Again, I just love his athleticism, his length, and we discussed this earlier. He's got this unbelievably high gear. If he can somehow downshift a bit and then still have that high gear to go to, he's going to be a terror. And if he can just shoot the three ball a bit straighter, man, he's going to be a nightmare for anybody to guard in the Big East.
Let's do it now. So let's do our first bet. Okay.
Yeah.
So if Blewett is higher on the All-American teams than Sumner,
okay,
I will buy you the first round of wings at Tiffany's when we watch March Madness.
I love that deal. Let's shake on it.
Fair enough. Shake on. We're shaking, folks. We're shaking right now.
Okay.
And if Sumner is higher than Blewett, and the thing is, if they both don't make it, then the bet is off. Okay. But if they both make it, who's higher? If they're equal, we just shake our hands and say it was a tie. Right? Like soccer, it's okay to tie. Right?
I think what we're saying is Xavier's going to be really good this year.
Xavier's going to be good. 100%. Chris Mack, great job.
Ready for second team?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Jump into your second team.
Yeah, you go first. You go first for second team. I'm good.
Very good. So I'm going to start my second team, much like I started my third team, with a player that most people or many prognostications have on their first team. This is no slight to him. I just think he got squeezed out and is maybe 6 or 7. Josh Hart from Nova.
Of course.
Defending champs, best player on the team coming back. No offense to Chris Jenkins. Love Chris Jenkins too. Hart is going to put up numbers. He's going to have a high usage. He's going to have a high WAR. All the stats that you want and all the stat nitnigs that are going to pay attention to this. He's going to have numbers across the board. He's definitely going to be second team All-American with giant numbers, and they're going to make a big run again too. We kind of talked about this a little bit last year, where the last returning champion with 3 or more starters returning was Florida, and they went back-to-back. Yeah. So you expect a big run for Nova again.
Horford, Corey Brewer.
I'm going to go to the Big Ten for my next second-team All-American selection.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the big man, Thomas Bryant.
Yeah.
I think
what I think about Thomas Bryant.
I think he and Hart are going to be in the same boat. I think they're going to be looking at an amazing season, individually an amazing season with their team. And I also believe that they're just going to be just a nudge, just one step down from that first-team All-American status. Yep. So no slight on them, no slight on their team. I just think that they're going to be the 2 guys kind of left out of the equation.
Okay.
Third place I'm going to go for my second-team All-American is to the man I think who's going to lead the country in rebounding.
You said it last time. Good pick.
Caleb Swanigan from Purdue.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Painter is going to keep him on the floor at all times. He is going to rebound, outlet, and then I bet he shoots a 3 on the wing too. He's going to put up giant numbers across the board, but I really think he's going to dominate rebounding. And sometimes like the voters key into the certain stats, right? Like think Kay Felder last year. Yeah. He put up giant numbers in assists. He put up giant numbers in points. I think at one point he was like top 3 in both in the country. Just think if like Caleb Swanigan leads the country in rebounding in the Big Ten. Like people are going to pay attention to that, and I think he's just getting undersold right now.
Gus, that's such a great pick on Twitter. By the way, follow us on Twitter at SVS Podcast. SVS Podcast. I was looking at the other day, a lot of arguing going on about people saying that Purdue is not being given the credit in the Big Ten.
Totally agree.
People saying, how are you picking Indiana over Purdue? Michigan State, of course, young a little bit. So Purdue's a dark horse. It's a great one. I could see it happening. Such a good pick.
Next place I'll go is a place that you've already visited. I love Monte Morris.
Okay.
He will lead the country again. That'll be for the 3rd year in a row in assist-to-turnover ratio, even with his higher increased usage on the offensive end.
Okay.
He's going to have a ton of shooters to give the ball to, so his assist numbers are going to be sky-high too, and I think he's going to put up a whole bunch of points, and they're going to let him shoot a bunch more. I saw a couple places where Iowa State was a dark horse to get to the Final Four.
Yeah, definitely. You got a lot of walking lotto guys here. Guys that fill up the box score in your second team. It's very active. You have an active second team.
Monte Morris is going to be very active. The last place I'll go for my second team All-American selection is to the backcourt mate that you had on your third team. And this is the prognostication I think I'm going to make here. Malik Monk, who is my final selection for my second team All-American.
Got to have a Kentucky guy.
And De'Aaron Fox are going to make up the best freshman backcourt in the country this year and one of the best freshman backcourts in history.
Wow. And I was trying to figure out, like, what's Calipari going to do? What's going to be his thing this year? Remember, he had 5 in, 5 out a couple of years ago. That could be it. Maybe I'm selling them a little short. I don't know.
And we've said a number of times, guards winning the tournament. Harrison's brought them to the Final Four. Made those big shots in the tournament. I think Monk and Fox together are going to be more dynamic than them.
Wow. Tremendous.
I want to hear who's on your second team.
Yeah, I struggle with this one because we talked about it last time. I'm going to put Grayson Allen on my second team.
Sure.
You outlined it beautifully. I think they're going to struggle a little bit. He's going to transition. He's going to pass a little more. May get frustrated. Field goal percentage may go down a little bit.
I think similar situation to Monte Morris. A little bit more usage on the offensive side. A little bit more responsibility.
Exactly.
Okay.
I don't need to repeat it. You said it so well. Love Joel Berry. Yeah. Love Joel Berry.
Screen the Screener is fully on board with Joel Berry.
Yeah, they're going to be good. They're going to be annoyed about not winning the title last year. Old Roy still got players. Love Joel Berry the second. Great story, by the way. I'm going to skip the next one because that's the guy I'm going to go off about. But let me go to those two guys. Melo Trimble. I know that Maryland may be down a little bit. I think Melo is going to. We've seen him play big in big spots. I forget the team he played last year. We held the ball top of the key, hit a 3 to win the game, like 3 feet behind the line.
Sure.
I think he's got it. I think he's like a flower that's about to explode. I think Melo Trimble has a massive year for Maryland.
Really?
I don't know if they get in. It could be a Ben Simmons-like year where they struggle and maybe they're in the playing game. I think he can carry a team. I really do. And so I'm going to put him on second team. And, I'm with you. You talked last time about Josh Jackson. You may have him a little higher, I think. But I'll put Kansas in there. McLemore, Wiggins. Bill Self does a great job. He does. I'll put Josh Jackson in there on my second team. Now.
Good call. I want to know who the last selection is.
The last guy is really not being talked about enough, and they didn't make the tournament last year, and 5 seasons have passed since they were in the NCAA tournament, so Coach Brad Brownell is going to get a little bit of heat. Jaron Blossomgame is the best senior in the NCAA college basketball Division I landscape.
I love that you are calling out the best senior.
Call him out. I think Clemson makes the tournament this year. Back against the wall. Read an article the other day where Coach was talking about we got to make the tournament. There's pressure out there. And Blossomgame can carry them. He came back, which they were excited about. He's versatile. He goes inside. He goes outside. He shoots the 3. The guy's a big-time player, and he's not getting enough recognition. He will take the NCAA by storm. Big points, big rebounds, assists, shoots it, 3, foul line. Jared Blossomgame. He's got game. Second-team All-American.
I love that you are that passionate about a Clemson Tiger.
You're darn right. And no one's talking about Clemson. Here's another one. He makes second team, I'm getting a Blossomgame jersey. Okay.
Oh, yeah!
I will wear it at Tiffany's on March Madness. Blossomgame.
Okay. I like that we're already making bets and promises a couple of months down the road.
We're firing.
This is fabulous.
6'7", 220. I'm not even close to 6'7", maybe a little closer to 220 than I like to admit. It's fine. There you go. All right, I'll do my first team.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Let's get to your first team. I think we might share some similarities here.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think they're worth giving that attention.
No doubt. We said it last time. Dylan Brooks is going to be a first-team All-American. Oregon's going to be really, really good. They're hungry. I love what they have. They have that look, that Tyler Dorsey, the whole thing. I can't, Boucher.
Chris Boucher.
Yeah, Boucher. He's a senior, one of the best seniors as well. Not as good as Blossomgame, but he's very good.
Here's my Chris Boucher comp. Ready? Mm-hmm. He is the college Porzingis.
Yeah, absolutely. Porzingis, he's versatile. He's better. I was going to say Camby, but he's better than Camby because he can drill better. Fine. I've told you how much I love Thomas Bryant. I think I'm swinging.
Love the big man.
I could, Gus, be swinging the pendulum the wrong way here because I was not on him last year, and then he really impressed me the whole way through. Good footwork in the post, runs the break well, shoots well from the foul line. Indiana's going to be good. Yogi's gone. Crean's excited. He's back.
How about this? How much better does each Indiana player get under Crean each year? Think of how much better Yogi got each year.
And he was under pressure, and now he's not anymore. And Bryant, if he stays out of foul trouble, is an impossible matchup for them. Isaac Haas maybe can match up a little bit, but no one else in the Big Ten can.
Not really.
Same reasons you said about Hart. I'm not going to, people listening are not going to go over again. Josh Hart, Walking Lotto, Villanova, they're really good. He's back. He's got like 6 in every possible category except for fouls. He's in, no doubt.
Just very quick aside. Do you remember the old Big East where they tried the 6 fouls?
Yeah, right.
To eliminate you and set up the 5 fouls?
Yes.
Sorry. Please keep going with your first team.
I mean, that's the only way he would get 6.
Recommend for the Big East grade 30 for 30.
Yeah. Oh, God. Nigel Hayes, one of the best players coming back. I love Nigel Hayes. I think Blossomgame is a little bit better scorer than Nigel Hayes.
Okay.
Love that Nigel Hayes is back. Wisconsin's going to be really, really, really good. I have them in my Final Four also. And then I did go out on a limb on this one.
Yes.
I think,
say it.
Yeah, I think Frank Mason.
There it is.
Okay. Frank Mason controls the court well. I was very impressed with how he played in the tournament. I did not think he was a good enough scorer most of the year, and then I started watching him. I think he steps up his game. I think Jackson struggles throughout the year, up and down a little bit.
Okay.
I think Mason is Mr. Consistency. I would not be surprised. Self wins yet another Big 12. They get a 1 seed.
That would be 13,
And
by the way.
13
in a row.
And because of that, Mason gets first-team All-American as a table setter. There's my first-team All-American.
Ooh. Hey, can I just jump in and tell a slight story with your Frank Mason first-team All-American?
Always.
Okay, so somewhere along the line last year, I remember when they went through their midseason swoon, and somebody mentioned, how did Bill Self get stuck with mid-major guards?
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But then go ahead and hit the fast-forward button. Look how they ended up with a 12th Big 12 title. Get the 1 seed.
Yep.
Lose to the eventual champion. And then they come back, both of his so-called mid-major guards. You know who they are? They're Van Vliet and Baker again.
That's yeah. And Graham is a big-time player.
Yeah, Graham's awesome too.
Yep.
Like that's what kind of backcourt they're bringing back. It's not a mid-major backcourt. It is an awesome NCAA college basketball backcourt. That's what that backcourt is.
I mean, you're bringing back a guy that averaged 13 points a game last year, 4.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 38% from three, so he got better. He's always going to be on the court. He's incredibly athletic.
And nobody's going to push him around.
And he's going to be on a team that could be a 1 seed.
Exactly.
To me, it doesn't get harder than that. I'm a big fan of Frank Mason. Love the zero. Go ahead.
All right, so I'll hit up my first team. I'm agreeing with you in 2 areas. I'm going to go to those 2 areas first. I love Dylan Brooks as well. Again, one of the comps that we kind of shared with was where he might have this, I'm trying to say, like, chip on his shoulder from the Krzyzewski thing.
Yeah.
But then also have like this injury comeback little story going for him as well. So he has like a couple of storylines that might really help him once he gets healthy. And once he gets healthy, they're going to be very good, very competitive. They could win the Pac-12. They could get another 1 seed. Dylan Brooks, first-team All-American.
Yep.
Next place I'm going to go and agree with you is Nigel Hayes. I love Nigel Hayes. I love what he stands for. I love what he's trying to speak out about. I love what he's bringing attention to. I also love his game. I think his percentages are going to go up. I think his numbers are going to go up. And with those ups in percentages and numbers, hopefully he gets an up in attention to what he's trying to bring focus on.
So true. I will say this. If you told me that Wisconsin did not have the season that we think they're going to have, Bo Ryan was a Hall of Fame coach in my mind.
True.
So, listen, Greg Gard did a fantastic job, but the Wisconsin that we think of, at least I'm speaking for myself, that I'm thinking of, was guided by Bo Ryan. It's only been 1 year for Greg Gard. Oh, by the way, it wasn't a full year because he didn't coach the first 13 games. Bo Ryan did.
Sure.
So, the only way I see this not happening, besides a catastrophic injury, which we do not hope for, of course, is if Gard maybe struggles a little bit. I just don't think it's going to happen. That's why
I don't think it's going to happen at all. Okay. I think there's 0% chance of that happening.
Good.
I think he's going to do an amazing job. He's already shown that he can do an amazing job when he's dealt, not the greatest hold hand. Next 3 places are going to be a little different. Next place I'm going to go is Josh Jackson from Kansas.
All right, a little higher than me. Okay.
I think he's going to put up better numbers than Wiggins.
Okay.
I don't know why he wouldn't. And who's going to be the third scorer, or maybe the first scorer, to go with the best backcourt that we said that Kansas has in a really long time of Mason and Graham? Like, they're not going to do everything, so somebody else has to do something. I think Josh Jackson lives up to the hype and it puts up giant numbers.
Ready? Gun to your head. Do you think Kansas is making Phoenix in the Final Four this year?
No.
Wow. I was going to say yes, and I usually doubt Kansas, as you know. Wow. Okay. Good. I'm sorry.
No problem. Great question. Last 2 places I'm going to go. I mentioned this before as one of my prognostications. London Parentis.
Shoot the ball, London.
He has unbelievable percentages. His usage is going to go up, much like Monte Morris's usage. He'll hopefully have Austin Nichols back in a couple of games.
Yeah,
they run a tight system. You know where the scoring is going to come from in that system. Some of it's going to have to come from him. I think he's going to have very, very similar to Malcolm Brogdon last year. Maybe not exactly the type of numbers, but along those lines. And where did Malcolm Brogdon find himself last year? First team All-American.
Yeah, well.
Last place, I'm going Frosh again. I'm going Markelle Fultz.
Ooh, I don't know about that one. I like this, though. Go ahead.
I am supporting the screener, vagabond, agnostic basketball identity. We are going West Coast with Oregon and Washington, and giving them 2 first-team All-American slots west of the Mississippi, as you like to say.
Wow, very nice. I respect it.
One of the reasons that this pushed me in this direction was a simple statement from him. He wasn't trying, like, if somebody asked, like, hey, what are your aspirations? What are your goals? What are you trying, like the generic reporter question on Pac-12 Media Day. You know what one of his responses was to that?
What? Go ahead.
I want to be better than Michael Jordan. Okay, stop. That's not going to happen.
Can Markelle Fultz play Jaron Blossomgame 1-on-1 and we'll just sit and watch the game? Go ahead.
But the fact that that's in his lexicon and that's like something that seems logical to him, I think that means he's a little special.
He does. Well, that means he's not afraid to take the big shot. That means he's not afraid to be a leader. He's got the stones to come in. So basically, you think, because they're going to have to be good in order for him to get first.
They were almost there last year.
Okay.
I'm trusting Lorenzo Romar and his staff to kind of run kind of the same sets that they had last year, except with a better lead guard.
So he's going to do what Ben Simmons did not do, basically.
I think he's going to do what Ben Simmons did not do last year.
Well,
I think we're going to be having a completely opposite, different discussion.
I respect it.
Between Fultz and Simmons.
Fultz is a hot prospect. I guess I just out Washington. Nothing against the Pac-12. I love the Pac-12. You know that. That one I struggle with. I get it. I could see it happening. I could. I don't. I'm going to vote no on that one, but that's a great call because he could get hot. And if they get hot and he's good, he will be first-team All-American because that team is not doing well without him. I like it.
It's not crazy that they finish second or third in the Pac-12. Make a great run in their Pac-12 tournament.
That would do it.
Yeah, it's not crazy
because they're going to be in then. That very good. Excellent.
And then what I thought we could do is I'll just run down a couple of the honorable mentions, the guys that both of us kind of had in the back of our head but didn't quite make our cut.
Yep.
And these are guys that we have mentioned in our team previews, but we just want to give them a little bit more love because we love spreading the love at Screen the Screener podcast. Jordan Woodward, Oklahoma. We feel like he's going to fall into the same category that London Prentice, Monte Morris are going to fall into. Melo Trimble as well, where they have a little higher usage. Their numbers are going to go up, but maybe the team struggles on his end because maybe he doesn't have the troops back that those other teams have back.
I'll tell you, if he's going to have to get 23, 24 a game for him to get the second team for me. If he doesn't, that's not going to be even close. But go ahead.
He needs a mention. Yeah. He needs a mention. Let's see. I think another guy that is a little bit under the radar, I saw a couple of people picking him for maybe second or third team, is Tyler Lydon from Syracuse.
Yeah, I thought about him. Yeah.
Definitely an NBA-ready player. And think about how he used Carmelo, and I bet he's going to put Lydon in similar situations that he put Carmelo in. Obviously, he's not as skilled or as talented as Carmelo, but he's going to run the same sets, and they can hide him in the zone. He's not going to be a defensive liability in the zone.
He's really good. He's really, really good. I just struggled putting him in the top. Just maybe it was the eye test. I don't know why, though. They were in the Final Four last year. I don't know what the problem was, but yeah.
But he needs a mention as well. We'll go back to Duke, and once Jason Tatum gets healthy, he's gonna be very similar, I think, to Miles Bridges. And I put Miles Bridges on my third team. Sure. He's going to put up giant numbers as well, but we're just waiting for him to get healthy. And again, we always hold hope very dearly, and we hope that he comes back quicker than planned the couple of weeks that he's out. How about VJ Beacham from Notre Dame?
Yeah, Bray does a great job.
How about this? I bet he won't be too far off of your Blossom game. I bet he plays maybe a notch or two below him in the ACC.
Could be, definitely.
And my last three guys are guys that I'm going to say you're not going to hear anywhere else or read anywhere else for honorable mention, but you'll hear him here. First guy, we kind of talked about him a smidge on one of our initial podcasts. How about Shake Milton from SMU?
Just for the name, he should make it.
We love what Shake brings to the table. We think he's going to put up big time numbers in conference and get some notice. Next guy, and I'll get back to this team a little bit later. Jalen Adams.
So a lot of love on Twitter about them making a run, winning the conference, dark horse, Final Four, definitely.
Yeah, and he's going to lead the charge. He's going to have the ball in his hands a lot. He's going to put up a lot of shots. He's going to get a ton of minutes. I think Kevin Ollie's going to put a lot of trust in him. He'll make some teams and some prognostications elsewhere. And a last guy, we want to keep spreading West Coast love. How about Emmett Nahr from St. Mary's?
Yeah.
We said that he could be a guy that puts up these crazy percentage numbers this year.
So Gorn Dragic.
Like the 50% from the field, 40% from 3, 90% from the line.
Yep.
If he does that and St. Mary's is really good again, like they should be, because they have all 5 of their guys coming back.
Yep.
So they got to put somebody somewhere, and why not put Nahr on an honorable mention or a third team somewhere?
The mid-major that's no longer a mid-major. Right.
Agreed, yeah. So there are the screen the screener all-American teams. Some very predictable. Some we're hoping a little bit off the reservation, a little bit off the radar, and a little bit out of echolocation range.